Hello and welcome to another English online class. This is your teacher Abdullah bin Najim, and today we will be revising some information about the conditionals. To start with, we will be revising the four types of the conditionals and the usage for the conditionals for sure. We use conditionals in order to tell that if a specific thing happened, it will lead to another thing. Okay, so this is about a condition and a result. If you do something, you get something, which means that the existence of an action or a situation is actually a result for a previous one. Okay, so when you do something, you get something as a result of the first statement or the first part of the sentence. Conditionals contain two clauses. Okay, the first is the conditional clause or the F clause, and the second is the result clause. Okay, the result clause can come first sometimes. That doesn't mean that we always have to put the if clause at the beginning. Sometimes we can put the result clause as at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so now we have four types of conditionals. They are type 0, 1, 2, and 3. And we have some differences between them regarding the meaning. Okay? Uh, Starting with type 0, we use it to talk about things that always happen, things that always come as a result of this specific previous action. Okay? For example, if you study, you pass the exam. If you put water on 100 degrees, it boils. Okay, we are talking about things that are almost like facts. Okay, it will happen for 100%. Okay, this is the percentage of its occurrence. Okay, so for example, we say if you work hard, you achieve your goals. There's another point, which is we can use when instead of if in the zero conditional, and it will give the same meaning. So if you want to know that this statement or sentence is a zero conditional, just replace the if with the when. If it gave the same meaning, that means this conditional is type 0. For example, the same sentence that we have taken before, which is if you work hard, you achieve your goals, you can say when you work hard, you achieve your goals. And the statement or the sentence will be accurate as well. So the form of the zero conditional is if plus subject plus verb 1, which is the first clause of the sentence, and it's actually a simple present. And the second part is subject verb 1 complement. So we can say if simple present, comma simple present. Fill in the blank with the accurate verb form. If you study well, you pass the exam. The verb stays verb 1 because in the zero conditional we have both verb 1s in both of the clauses. Okay, if you sit all day, you become lazy. If he works out, he gets muscles. If you can notice here, we put an s here at the verb because the subject is a singular. He or she or it. We put an s after the verb. Okay? So make sure to not forget this point. The second type of the conditionals, which is the first conditional, the usage of the first conditional, we use it to talk about things that are likely to happen. Okay, the zero conditional always happens, and the first conditional about things that are likely to happen. Okay, so let's put a percentage of about 80 to 90% to happen. Okay, in the present or the future, a result that usually comes after a specific previous action. So, if you keep eating fast food, you will become fat. Usual people who eat fast food becomes fat, sorry. Okay? So, we can use unless with the first conditional to mean if not. Okay? We can use unless, same as the zero conditional we have used when. In the first conditional we can use unless, but the difference is unless is in negative. Okay, so we put the negative of the sentence. For example, we say unless you stop eating fast food you will become fat, which means if you don't stop eating fast food you will become fat. So the form of the first conditional is if plus subject plus verb 1 plus complement. This is the first clause, which is simple present, and the second clause will be a simple future with will. Subject will verb 1 plus complement. Okay, so the answers for these questions here, we say if you study for 4 hours a day you will get high marks. If you wear t-shirts in this weather you will get sick. If you run for an hour daily you will have strong legs. Okay, so this is for the first conditional. Going next to the third part, which is the second conditional, we use it to talk about something that is impossible in the present or the future, unlikely to happen, and to give advice. Okay, we use the second conditional to give advices and to talk about things that are unlikely to happen. So we will give it a percentage of, let's say, 50% to happen. Okay, or maybe 50 to 70% to happen. So for example, we say if the earth was flat we would fall off the edge. Okay, so this is impossible to happen. The earth can never be flat. Okay, or most likely it's not flat, hopefully. uh, if it was flat we would fall off the edge. Okay, but science says that the earth is not flat, so we will not fall off the edge. So the form of the second conditional say is if plus subject plus verb 2, which is the simple past, subject would plus verb 1 plus complement. If plus simple past, comma, would plus verb 1. Okay, to make it easy for you, if you notice here the zero conditional start with simple present, simple present. The first conditional we put will in front of the second statement, second clause, which became simple future. And the second conditional we replace the modal 1 will with the modal 2 would. Okay, so this is an easy way to understand how it goes. uh, if subject plus verb 2 plus complement, subject would plus verb 1 plus complement. So going to the questions down here, we say if I had a dog, which means I do not have a dog actually. So if I had a dog I would play with it. Okay, so does the speaker have a dog? No. Why? How did we know? Because he said if I had a dog I would play with it. So he doesn't have the dog and he can't play with the dog because he doesn't have it. If I, here we say the verb to of the verb ring, which is rang. If I rang the bell, everyone would shock. Okay? If I played football when I was a kid, I would be professional now. Okay, so uh, when you want to answer questions regarding the conditionals, always remember that you have two clauses. Okay, look at the already written clause and compare it to the second clause which is not written. Okay, for example, here we had, which is verb 2 in the if clause. Okay, which one of the conditionals have verb 2 at the first part? It's only the second conditional. Okay, so from this verb I understand that this is the second conditional and I need to use would play at the second part of the sentence. Okay, so look at the first phrase, sorry, look at the first clause in order to know the answer of the second, and vice versa. You can know the answer of the first clause while looking at the second clause. So, going next to the next conditional, which is the third conditional, we use it to talk about things that were impossible in the past but didn't happen. Okay, it was impossible in the past anyway, and it didn't happen. For example, we say if we had practiced the hurricane, lives would have been saved. So, did they practice the hurricane? No, they didn't. Were they able to save life or to save lives? No, they were not able to. Okay, so the form of the third conditional is if subject had verb 3 complement, comma, subject would have verb 3 plus complement. So if we had taken a taxi, we would have arrived faster. So they didn't taken they didn't take the taxi, okay, and they didn't arrive as fast as possible. Okay, here the second sentence says if we hadn't eaten the cake, we would have felt lighter. Okay, if we hadn't eaten the cake, we would have felt lighter. If we hadn't run faster, we would have arrived on time. Sorry, here we say if we had run faster, we would have arrived on time. So they didn't run fast. That's why they didn't arrive on time. So that's all for the conditionals. Next, I will be discussing some questions regarding the conditionals, so stay with us. So hello again. So here we have some questions regarding the conditionals. Uh, the question says, choose the correct answer for each of the following. Okay, so we have sentences with a space in them, and we need to fill the space with the accurate answer. We have verbs between brackets as well, so we need to choose one of these verbs. Okay, so the first sentence says if you fast you get tired. So to answer this question we need to look at the second part, get tired, which is verb 1, get. Okay, get is a verb 1. So which one of the conditionals have verb 1 in both sides, which is the type 0. So type 0 says if you run fast you get tired. Why did we choose type 0? Because the second part here is a verb 1 as well. Okay, the second sentence says she will be successful if she hard. Okay, so will be, this is actually the not the if clause, it is the result clause. So we have the result clause at the beginning, and the result clause has will plus verb 1. Here we have will. So which one of the conditionals have will in the result clause? Which is type 1. Okay, and type 1 we have verb 1 at the main clause, and since the subject is a singular, we add an s. If she works hard, she will be successful, or she will be successful if she works hard. So the second clause, if I were you, I would drink milk every day. Okay, why did we choose would drink? Because of the word if I were you. Here we have were, which is verb 2, and the only if clause that have the only conditional clause that have verb 2 in the if clause is the conditional type 2. So if I were you, I would drink. Going next to question number 4, it says, unless you study, you won't pass the exam. Won't. And and the reason of choosing won't pass here is, first, unless is the negative form of if clause in the type 1. Okay, so if you don't study, you will not pass the exam. This is what this sentence means. Sentence number 4 says, when you learn to lie, you forget how to tell the truth. And the reason here of using the if clause type 0 is the word when, because we can replace the if word in the type 0 with when. When you learn to lie, you forget how to tell the truth. The next question says, if Earth was flat, we would fall of the edge. Okay, so the answer here is would fall, and the reason is we used the verb to was in the if clause, and the only uh, if the only conditional that have was in the if clause is the second type of conditionals. Okay, if Earth was flat, we would fall off the edge. Next we have if you, then we have a gap, to come to me back then, I would have helped you. Okay, so look at the second part of the the conditional sentence. We have would have plus verb 3. Okay, so the only conditional sentence that have would have plus verb 3 is the third type. Okay, so the answer would be, if you had come to me back then, I would have helped you. And make sure to understand that come here is actually a verb 3, not verb 1. Come, came, come. Okay, so next we have number 8. It says, if you had cleaned the room, you wouldn't have embarrassed yourself. Wouldn't have. Okay, and the reason of choosing this answer is because of had cleaned in the first part of the conditional. Okay, so that's how we answered all these questions regarding the conditionals. Hope you understood today's lesson and please work hard on yourself. Take care. Good luck.